Hello to all of our BPTV friends, YouTube friends, Facebook friends. I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. I'm doing my 27th Maria's Ideas Teaches Us to Paint. I don't know what we're going to paint, so this is a first. What are we painting, co-host and co-producer Maria?
Well, I'm going to show you now. So I'm Maria D. Simone Prasic. We are here at the top of 18th Street in the South Side Slopes at Johno's, our studio. So I did not let anyone know last month what we were painting, and Alan doesn't know, Dave doesn't know, okay? But the shirt color's perfect.
Whoa,
so
I didn't know.
call it Cat in the Box. And it is inspired by your cat, Little 8, right?
Oh, that's Little 8, yeah. My calico cat.
Yeah, so I was looking at pictures on Facebook. There was one who was drinking out of the, like stationary tub or something. Yeah. But it was a little sideways. So anyway, we're going to... This is inspired by your kitty.
Here.
Oh, so you can look at this one too over there if you need to. All right?
I love it.
But the green, you wore the green. Look. And I figured the green, maybe green eyes. Does he have green eyes? Green, gold?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Little color
So
there.
I figured that kind of would go with the eyes. Yeah. So that's what we're going to paint.
This is so inspiring.
Okay, I should turn my canvas over. Okay, so sometimes I forget to explain how we do this, but I always have them pre-drawn just so we can focus on the painting.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, so I have a 10-minute tutorial to learn how to draw each design. If you need help with that, that's on my YouTube channel. And then you can draw it on another piece of paper if you don't want to mess with your canvas or whatever you're painting on. You could draw it on another piece of paper if you choose. You can use, this is graphite transfer paper. Yeah. It's like carbon paper, if you remember that.
Back in the old days, yes ma'am.
And this it's very inexpensive. You can use it over and over. This
What's
is
it
probably
cost, roughly?
I mean, maybe $10 for 100 sheets or something. So it's very inexpensive. It comes on a roll. It comes on black, graphite and white. So then you just lay that under and you trace over your design, and that transfers it so that you're not scribbling all over.
Well, for 10 cents, I may get one.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we do here. So you always see it pre-drawn. Yes, we could teach our guests and each other to draw, but we just like to focus on painting.
Thank you.
So that's that.
Hey, I'm happy I can paint. Number 27 coming up with Little 8.
That's right. So we are using acrylics. We're painting on the canvas panel just because it doesn't bounce, and I just think that's better for filming. You can paint on canvas or canvas board or paper or wood or whatever.
Okay.
Acrylics we're using white, yellow, red. This is more of an ultramarine blue, black, and green. Okay? Okay, so let's start. We're starting with the background. You typically do when you paint with acrylics, you start with the layers, and you build up the layers in the front.
You've taught me that. I've learned. That works out well.
Yeah, and mostly it's dark to light, but sometimes you work light to dark too. But anyway, we're going to start with the back. We wet our brush. This is the 1 inch, the larger brush, and we're going to wet it, dab the extra water off. Now I have the green tones. I have the brighter limier green. If you like that, add some yellow to your green. If you use the green shade, it's going to be pretty dark, and also acrylics dry darker. Yeah. So if you like that color you're mixing, make it a little lighter, add a little bit of white or a brighter color.
I'm following your lead. I'm going to go lighter.
Okay, so I'm just going to mix right on the canvas. I'm not even mixing it on the plate. Well, so what I'm going to do, because
I'm trying to get to that level.
Well, because the background, I just kind of want it, I don't want it a smooth one direction brush. I just kind of want it more of a mottled look. So I am going to start with the green by itself. And I'm starting at the top, Alan.
Okay.
And I'm working more in the corners to kind of have a little darker. But just for the corners.
You know what? I like your style. I'm changing up.
Yeah, just do it right on the canvas. But then you can see there's some areas where it's a little darker. I'm going to put my brush into the blue and mix in some of the blue.
Oh, really?
And just push it around. Now this blue is a little more transparent.
Yeah.
So it's not going to cover, it's not as opaque, which is fine. And then I'm just pushing it around, okay?
Yeah.
Pushing it around, and I'm going like this. If you do the brush stroke like this, and flip your brush.
Oh, okay.
That's called a crosshatch. So that will give you texture and interesting brush strokes instead of just the vertical or horizontal. Now, as that's pretty much as dark as I want it to be because it's going to dry darker, I want that limey green color.
Yeah.
So I'm putting the green back on. I'm just going to dot it on different areas. Then
wow, you're giving me expertise here.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of different ways to paint. But then I'm going to rinse the brush because I don't know for sure how much green paint is in the belly of the brush. So I want to clean that out because I want the yellow now to kind of take over in this green. So then rinse your brush.
Okay.
Because otherwise you might be pushing around, it might be too dark. So
no,
now,
thank you.
Now I'm going into the yellow and I'm going to mix it with the green. Now you can see how bright that is.
Oh, yeah.
And now you can see if I just do those same brush strokes back and forth.
A little
just
quick.
kind of blend it. You can mix in white. You can mix in any color you want. I just wanted this brighter, kind of like pickle. I always
get
use
the
my
pickle out. Yeah.
People ask me about my pickle and I forget.
I know.
So that's what I'm doing.
You know,
here.
you make me quiet when I see the pickle. So.
Yeah. When you're gabbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little
Sometimes
gabbing.
I have to get to the next lesson and Alan's gabbing. That's okay.
Just a little bit.
That's all right. That's why it's called Alan Levine, the talking machine,
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'm pretty close to the cat. These brushes, this brush, some of them are stiffer. These are pretty soft. I won't have as much control, so I'm going to get rid of that one now. And I'm going in.
You need a little
Yeah,
finer
that looks
brush.
great. So like all that texture there,
Yeah.
that looks really good.
Thank you.
It
I'm
makes
trying.
it more interesting instead of just a solid.
I saw how you're doing that.
Yeah, and
so
just
I'm
leave
trying.
those brush strokes look great. It's more
Okay.
expressionistic. It's a looser style, which a lot of people are trying to accomplish now in their paintings.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm using the same colors. I'm just going to
All
double
right.
load my brush with the yellow and the green.
And what, you went to the 1/2 inch then?
The half-inch flat. And now, Alan, you can come in like this. You can use the corner.
Ooh.
You can come right in. You can do the detail. Sometimes, believe it or not, it's actually easier with a bigger brush.
Oh, get
And
out.
same thing. And then just come around now. Around the cat is, I have a little darker on the edges.
Yeah.
So we don't want the background too dark because we want that contrast.
lighter.
The cat's going to pop a little more if
Yeah.
it's lighter behind the
Do I
cat.
dab a little green then get the yellow?
Yeah,
or-
I would say more yellow than green.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to introduce some white. So you may want to, I might want to mix it a little on the plate.
All right, I'll follow your lead. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So cats, I know from my sister's cats and people in my family, everybody that has cats, they all love boxes. They get them toys, but my sister, and she has one cat that when that new box comes, he claims it. And he'll stay in the box the whole day. He won't let anybody in the new
Well,
box.
guess what?
And then the second day, other cats are
I just learned why cats do that.
I was going to say, why do you know?
Guess what? They did studies of
Okay.
them, right? So they were studying them, and they taped duct tape in a square,
Okay.
a certain size, and they had like hundreds of cats that they
Okay.
studied. Guess what? They had them go in boxes.
Yeah.
Then they put tape on a floor, and the cats went to the tape
The
and laid
shape of
down
the-
in
yeah.
the square.
So,
That's in their brains.
like
But
it's
that's
a
what they
safe
go
place
to.
or something?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what they think there.
Well, they definitely love them. Although I had little chihuahuas, and they were like that too. They were kind of cat-like. They did cat things.
I had labs, and we had a black cat that we called Inky. So-
Aw. I had a little white chihuahua, Kimba the white lion.
wow.
And I had a little, she was a long-haired Vidalia Einen baby. She looked like a little papillon.
Ah,
She
that's
was
a
cute.
cutie, little
Yeah, she was
cutie
real
there.
sweet. So you could see, keep it, I would say you can introduce a little bit of white now too.
Oh, really?
Just
okay.
to brighten it up a little bit around the cat. And
I
then
will.
we just got coming around and we have the green around the box. And
Yeah.
then this could be the floor, it could be a table.
Right.
And then we're just going to come back around.
No, thanks for your guidance
Yeah.
here. Listen to Maria here.
When it comes down now back closer to this table area
Yeah.
or floor, you can make it darker again if you choose.
Oh, okay.
It's just we wanted it a little brighter around the cat. So kind of just cleaning off my brush, really. Something
No,
like that.
that's cool.
And let's see here. Yeah, it's like pickle green. I hear Picklesburg in Pittsburgh is like one of the best festivals now in the country, they say.
No, I've heard that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Who would have thought?
No. Oh, I went down too far. I sure did. This was supposed. Oh, I didn't draw the line. That's why.
Oh,
Do I
my
have the
goodness.
line on your left side? I
Where
do
we look?
not. So there's a line there.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to do it on mine. So we'll just block it in with the gray.
Okay.
Okay, because that's the other angle of the.
No,
Like it's in the, maybe a corner or
Yeah.
probably a table. I don't know. Anyway,
We'll get there.
yeah. So this is, the background's pretty much done. Now you can always go back in. You can always add, you can always add some other little texture or some colors. But I'm just going to, I really don't want to focus on the background. The focus is the cat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I love yours.
Oh,
Love the
thank you.
background. That
Thank
looks
you.
really
I'm-
good.
I'm working hard on it, so you've inspired me again.
Yes. So we just have Alan today because I just, we needed a session, just the two of us.
Yeah.
So I just let's just keep it simple.
What's that
And-
song? Just the two of us.
Yeah, and I wanted to do your cat. I wanted to do a cat in a box. I'm like, well,
Ah, thank
have a
you
cat?
for
I think he has a
picking-
cat, and that's right. And I kind of was like creeping on your
Yeah.
Facebook
hey, I
page
post a
to
lot
find
of stuff.
pictures, yeah.
You can creep on whatever I want.
Well, I had to
and-
find. I didn't want to ask you because I wanted to.
Surprise.
Yeah.
This is a great surprise,
Yeah.
I'm
So
telling
you're
you.
good. And then just down to that line, that
Yeah.
diagonal line.
Just-
Yep, you're good. So the background's almost done, and then
Yeah,
you're
let
doing
me
there.
put a
So.
little yellow in.
All right. And then we are going to, there are a couple different ways when you have a lot of the outline areas. It's sort of a cartoony vibe, which is what I want, more of a pop art kind
Yeah.
of vibe with the line. So we are going to keep it that way. So we'll start with the darker black areas.
All right, I'm getting
You're
there.
pretty good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. You can carry on
Okay,
and I'll
so
catch up a
we
little.
are, let's start with the same, we're going to use the same brush, rinse it a ½ inch. And then I always, when I rinse it, I usually go like this and I take that extra water out too, but also
Oh, you tweak it a
just
little.
keep that chisel, we want that chiseled edge.
Yeah.
So we are going to grab our plate. We're going to put, it's a little bit of a softer black. It's not as black
is
as it
it?
could be.
Okay.
It is. But the reason I do this is I want that chiseled edge because we are doing some lines.
Okay.
So again, if you use a smaller brush like this to do the lines, your hand tends to be shaky. If you use a
Okay.
bigger brush, you can control it easier.
All right, so get
Okay,
the
so we're
black and
taking
put
the ½
black
inch
on.
and then go like this, load. What this does when you flip it, it loads both sides of the brush
Yeah.
evenly, and then we're holding the brush vertically like this.
Okay.
So we're going to just roughly, kind of like you're sketching.
Yeah.
Just go in the direction that the fur
Yeah.
grows, and we're just going like this. And
Just
you can
bring
see
it out.
But lift it up as you go out. So we're doing these brush strokes like this, see?
Yeah.
I feel like yours is like chunky looking.
Yeah,
Like
it
maybe
is.
your brush is not
Oh,
here.
you know what? Let me
Do you have too much paint in
let
it?
me wet it. Let me
think-
clear it off. Yeah, I did. I grabbed too much paint.
You want it kind of thinner.
Here, let me squeeze it like
Squeeze
you
it
did.
and then flip. Make sure you flip it when you load it on both
Yeah.
sides. It kind of squeezes out the extra paint.
Okay.
So
I
then
didn't
we're
press hard enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
and then we're just doing this. We're just coming in, and you can see here. So if I use, and then lift it up, and then watch Alan. If I just use the corner, so I can just
Oh.
get these little. I still feel like it's. I feel like it's your brush. I feel like it's too. Because some of them are thicker than others.
It might be.
Here, try this one.
All right.
I think that one will be better.
All right.
Okay, all brushes are not created equally. Okay,
Thank you for that.
now your cat may have paint the markings maybe more like your little cat if you want. I'm
Yeah.
just doing this is a calico, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind
Multicolored.
of okay. So they have the darker tones.
Yeah.
They have it looks
It's
like
all
different.
intermingled
Yeah.
with light and dark
And so what is
yeah,
it?
this brush is better.
Okay, good. And then, like I said, you can use the corner, but just start on the inner and go out if you want that little tuft of hair. See, it makes it look like it's furry.
Here, how's that?
Perfect. And then you can they don't even have to be perfectly straight. If you just use the corner, you can get it to go
okay.
different directions too.
All righty.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but calicos are not females or males, or
No,
there's always
the
some.
females are prolific. The males are rare.
Males are
and
not.
they're very
Okay.
expensive.
I knew there was something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, she was the run of the litter, and I named her Little 8 because
Aw.
she was never over 8 pounds.
Aw.
And right now at 17 3/4, she's 6.5 pounds.
Wow, that's pretty small,
So
isn't
she's
it?
a little cutie. Well,
Yeah.
you hold her, she's like this.
Aw.
So
I know, because some cats, I know my sister Joni, she has one. He's like some kind of, I don't know what he is, snow, there's something like snowshoe or snowfoot, something, I don't know what type of breed. Kind of looks like a Siamese, but it's not.
Oh, yeah.
And he's really big. He's like really long. He's like, yeah, when he stands up, he's pretty tall. And he used to bite my ankles.
Oh.
But I think that's when I had my dogs.
Yeah.
And now he doesn't. So I'm not sure.
He might know.
I know. He's friendly, sweet, but he'd grab my ankles and like wrap his legs around my ankles, and I'd be walking and he'd be dragging on my.
Well, they have their personalities,
Yeah,
that's for
he's
sure.
very smart. Very smart.
Oh, they are smart.
Yeah.
And they're not like dogs.
No. Although I've some smart dogs. I had some kind of not so smart ones too, though. But you know, but the cuteness made up for the lack of intelligence in my little
Yeah.
dogs. Okay, so you can see I kind of came around. There are shadows here
Yeah.
because he's in the box.
Oh, wow.
All right.
This is sophisticated for
Yeah.
me.
So where's our light source?
Left.
Look at the shadows.
No, the right.
The shadows. So that our light
Yeah.
source would be. And you look at the angle too of the shadows.
Yeah.
So our light source is like right
I
here.
made a mistake. I
which
didn't
is
look
like
close enough.
It's maybe like 5 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
So if you pay attention to that, you can look at a painting.
Look what I
And
did
know what time of
naturally.
day.
It's lighter here and darker
No,
there.
look, no,
I got
it's
lucky.
good. It's good. It's good. So okay, so then I'm not
yeah.
going to focus on all of this inter detail yet because
Yeah.
we'll switch the brush. But what I'm doing is I'm using the same brush and I'm going to look at the rest of the painting and just work on the other areas that I can use this brush with, same
Okay.
color. So this is, so again, when you're doing a line, if you hold the brush up like this and you want a straight line,
Yeah.
instead of being crooked and not have a control, if you hold your brush, push it down, let the bristles spread out,
Okay.
you see where they're lined up,
Yeah.
and then you just pull your hand, and that's how you get a nice
Ah,
clean. Not that
okay.
it has to be perfectly straight, but if you're trying to get a straighter
I
line,
can attempt to do that.
it helps control your hand a little bit.
All right.
So then just come in, block in all of this darker area, and then where it meets the gray tone, we'll blend it later.
Yeah.
But what we're doing is just blocking in.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it's called when you're just
Our plan
blocking
is
in.
blocking.
Yep, you block in the areas first, and then you build up your layers of color and height, shadows, highlights, things like that.
No, thanks for the guidance. I needed it.
Yeah, when you're adding like darker tones, it's a shade. If you add white, it's considered a tint. But I don't always say that.
Understood.
So this is just the shape of the box, and this is what makes it pop a little bit too because of that. So the line where it meets the gray, you can even blend it a little bit, something like this, because it's not going to be as crisp
Okay.
if you want to. So, and then I have to add this line back in there. Okay. Okay, I was going to say, I'll wait for you to get to the,
Okay,
yeah, we're
yeah.
not doing too much of the cat inside the line. I would say finish this here
Okay.
and then work on the box because we're going to switch to a different brush when we get to those
All right.
details.
Let me.
And then the other thing, what we're going to do is outline the box. Now the box, they chew in the boxes sometimes
Yeah,
too, right?
yeah.
So we're not worried about the edges of the box being perfectly straight. Maybe it chewed it a little bit. So we're going to outline the box. Some of this might get covered up again with our color, the box color.
Yeah.
But it's easier if you draw a line, paint the line, and it's heavier, and you want it to be thinner. Sometimes it's harder to do a thinner line. But if you do it first and you lay your paints up to it and over it, it's a nice way to get a nice
Yeah.
thin line. You can control the thickness of the line sometimes easier if you put it down and then cover it up with your paint. Your paint does have to be somewhat opaque to do that. Sometimes you have to do a couple layers or whatever.
Yeah.
But so that's why we're doing it this way.
All righty.
Because you could also paint it the color and then add the black, but then the black can get wider and we don't want it too wide.
I gotcha.
There are just so many different ways to achieve the same look. So sometimes I teach it one way, sometimes I teach the other way.
Hey, you're teaching me, teacher.
Yeah, everybody can learn. All right, so then you can see under here, there's the darkest dark shadow, and then it's going to go into a lighter,
Okay.
and then lighter again. And so we're just putting in the darkest lines. So you can see right there, and then maybe a little bit there, and then this one. So it looks much bolder, you know, wider.
Gotcha.
So if, you can even look here, you can see
Yeah.
that it's darker there, but then it's not as dark there because
Okay.
we'll mix up another color.
All righty.
Okay, so that is everything with the larger brush. Yeah, I'll stick that in the water. When you're using acrylics and you are done using the brush,
Okay, let me try to
either
get there.
leave it in the water, but if it's going to lay in there too much and it will bend, it doesn't like to go back too easily. So I usually just rinse them and lay them out on my paper towel. Okay, let's see. We are now going to take the 1/4 inch. No, I take that back. We are going to use a small round brush. You're almost
Small
done there,
round,
right?
yeah, I'm just
Yeah, you're
about
good.
done.
And you're just going to
I gotta
rub.
get.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get down there.
Okay, we can
I
wait.
can catch up
We
with
can
that.
wait. Okay, catch up?
Yeah, I'll catch up.
Okay. So we're
So
going
I can change.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we can always stop for a minute or wait or whatever you want to
No,
do.
no, no. Keep moving forward.
Okay. So we are taking this small round brush. I always lay the brush on my palette and roll it in the direction of so the bristles stay. If I want that nice little tip, that's what you do.
Small round then? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, you still have to block in this part.
Yeah, I
down here.
will. I'll catch
Okay.
up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to move with you so I
Okay.
can.
Sounds good. So we are going to do the little point, and now you'll come in. You can outline the eyes. You can see that
What
tiny
am I
little
using?
tip.
Black?
Yes.
Okay.
So
just checking.
is that one small enough?
Maybe not.
That looks
No.
pretty. They're all different here.
Here, wait. This one.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
And then roll it to get that little tip.
I appreciate your art eye.
Yeah.
It's
and
very
then,
good.
Yeah, and just use the tip. If you push down, you're going to get a wider line. And we
Okay.
will want that in some areas. But right now, we just want just some little lines, outline, mostly the top of the eye, not underneath yet, because we're going to have some white under
Okay.
there. Now, whenever you paint eyes or draw eyes, if you do this to an eye, it kind of looks sadder. If you make the colors more like this, it
Yeah.
makes it more angry. So mine does. I don't want it to look sad, but
No, no.
it kind of did in the way it was drawn. So I'm kind of tweaking
Okay.
that a little bit. But just keep, and then again with that darker line, if it gets too thick and bold
Yeah.
under the eye, it's not a problem because we're going to add that color in the iris of the eye, and we can cover up this black.
Okay.
You know, so you don't have to worry about it being perfect because
Okay.
we're going to clean it up.
Just keep it thin.
Yeah, and then we can add the pupil in the center. And again, same thing there. If it's not the perfect size or whatever, it doesn't matter. We will fix that. And then just come in and wherever, like if you know your little 8 has more of the darker spots in certain places, you know, if you want to do
Well,
that.
she has some lighter spots.
Okay, but just
Yeah.
do whatever. It doesn't
Okay.
have to look like this.
All righty.
I like everyone to do their own version of what we're painting too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just did. Yeah, Bethel. It was a wellness day. I think they called it Bethel Park High School.
Yeah.
Amazing school. Wow. Beautiful
Yeah.
inside. And
That it is.
yeah. And we had 100 people, and we painted. It was like a figure, kind of with the hair blowing in the wind, and hearts, and
Right.
it was just really interesting. And there were some words. People were writing words in the painting, and they were using. I said, just use the colors any way you choose. Everyone was
that's so
completely
cool.
different. There were 100 different paintings. It was so nice.
Yeah,
they really
it sounds
got
like
creative.
a great day.
I couldn't believe how unique each one was. It was really fun to see that. And nice that they had that for the teachers and everyone in the school district, anyone, I guess, that works there. Was really, they had all different, I guess, events too. That was just one of them.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to know that they focus on things like that. And then so the other thing here now, as you're doing the dark areas, again, keep in mind the way the fur lays.
Yeah.
So where it comes to the tip, you want that to be where your brush comes
finer
up.
part, yeah.
So start the upper part and come out like this, and you're picking it up. Feathers and fur are the hardest things to paint.
Okay.
Just so you know. And what do we do all the time? Usually feathers and fur.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So you could see it's kind of like little wispy strokes. So I'm starting in the upper portion and then picking it up. And again, I'm not doing too much of this because we can always put some back in.
Right.
But just enough, because what this is going to do is it's giving us the dark lines in between. The dark colors recede and light colors come forward. So we want the chest, the fur, to come forward, and it's lighter. So these darker colors will give its depth.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's a noisy car. It's a blue car. It's a blue car. It's a Chevy. I don't know what it is, but it's like somebody that rides around with their loud exhaust. Like a little race car looking thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably it for the darker. Yeah. And like his mouth kind of looks a little crooked, but again, usually it looks funny as you're creating the painting because it's not done. You know, it can't look finished before it's finished. So it's all layers and highlights and shadows. The hardest part is knowing when to quit.
Well, we never quit, so we try.
Yeah, but I mean, you can keep reworking it. Sometimes you just have to let it go because if you can overwork a piece.
Right.
Right. So I think that's all I'm doing. Oh wait, I wanted to define this little chest area, just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. And then you just need to block in that other.
Yeah, I got to get that. Yeah.
Okay. And okay. So I think you're probably good with the black areas, but I'd say block that in so that's done and dries.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the box. Okay. We're going to assume it's a cardboard regular brown box, right?
Yeah.
We don't have brown. Do you have an idea how we're going to make brown? We've learned this before. Let's see if you remember.
Something with yellow, red.
Yeah. Usually the primary colors will make a brown, a dirty color, right?
Right.
So if you want, I'm going to use the 1/2 inch to mix. If you want your brown to be grayer, cooler, use more blue. If you want it to be warmer, use more red, use more yellow.
Right.
The warm colors make it warmer, and then we're going to introduce white to it also. So let's see. I usually start with the lighter colors because the darker colors definitely affect the value, and it's easier to start with lighter. So I'm going to put some yellow down there, and then I will take some red, and I will mix them together. And of course, it's going to make like an orangey color, right? And then I will add a little bit. We can even add green to this too, but usually use the primary colors. So now I'm putting the blue in, and let's see how we like it. It's not going to be what I want exactly, but you can see where it's kind of going. And it's going to dry darker. So I need more of it. So let's see, yellow again, red. It's a little better to maybe start with smaller amounts. You can always add. So I want a nice warm color. Now I know I'm going to have to add yellow. It's kind of a little more in that rusty color, brown. And so I'm going to add more yellow because I want it to be more of a tan color. And then I will introduce my white. So right now I'm going for just a true tan cardboard box color.
Okay.
I still feel like it's a little bit too orange. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to add a touch of black.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes you have to. I guess it's okay, but I feel like I need. Actually, this is a good color instead of going for the lightest one. Well, this is a really good color for the dark shadow, not the darkest, but so how you
Okay.
doing? So add more blue.
That's what I'm going to
Blue,
blue
yellow.
right now.
So this is pretty much the color you want to achieve right here.
All right.
Maybe a tiny bit darker. It's just a little darker, and it's going to dry darker, and that is this area here. It's this shadow right here, okay? And it's here. So it's not necessarily the whole box yet, and then maybe a little here.
All right.
Now, if we want some of this color in the cat's fur, which I'll work it in because they do have a lot of different tones, right?
Yeah,
The
I wanna
browns,
put
the
some in.
golds,
Yeah.
the kind of a rusty red or brown.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So I'm just going to clean off my brush by throwing some of this color.
Am I close to what yours
Yeah, that
is?
looks great. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that looks good, Alan, because it's going to dry darker. So that's right here. That's in this
Okay.
dark. That's in this other shadow
All right,
area.
let me dig in there.
Oops. So what I'm doing is just coming in. You can grab the smaller brush too if you want for this.
Then. I'm
And
going to
I'm
try
just-
it like you with the bigger one right now.
Yeah, that looks good. And then for that looks good. And then a little under here, this lip right here.
Just under there. Okay.
And, yeah, and then just lay it on the fur in areas where you want that color,
Okay.
that hue.
Just like put it wherever I
Yeah,
think.
wherever you want. And what that does too, by putting the same color into the cat, it just kind of unifies the palette, the color, the overall just makes it work. So then I'm going to rinse my brush because now I want it to be same color but lighter and maybe a little warmer.
Yeah.
So now I'm adding white to the color, probably a generous amount of white.
Right.
And then I'm adding a little bit of yellow. I just want it a little warmer. So you can see it, that looks more like closer to like a cardboard box kind of a color.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to do the flaps because that's lighter. And you can see now I'm covering up. See that black line, it's
Yeah.
too thick for what I want. I'm just covering some of it up. And that way I have that nice thin line. And then when you come up to the cat fur,
Yeah.
go like into it. See, like this? Go into it, and that brings those,
Oh,
the
okay.
fur, it kind of shapes it a little bit too. So that's the flap there. And then this flap, this would kind of be in shadow too, but I still want this brighter up in here. This can be in shadow closer to the cat. We can still tweak by adding some shadows later. I also want to say these plates. These are the shiny coated plates.
Yeah, I
They're
see
so
that.
much better because the paint does not absorb. When you use the ones that are not coated, it absorbs too much. This holds the paint, and even if it dries,
Yeah.
if you wet it, it will reactivate the paint. Otherwise,
Oh, really? It
you
does
don't have to
that
mix
too.
as much.
Yeah.
It just holds your paint. Okay, now this we want to make
Interesting.
sure. See this lid right here, this edge. We want to make sure we get that. We want to make sure we get this one's a little crooked. You maybe chewed
And I
on
missed
that one.
what you said with the lighter.
So add,
brown there.
I added a
Where do I
little bit of
start?
yellow, and I would say don't, instead of putting it right in that same spot, put it
Put the yellow.
next to it, pull some of that over, and that way you don't have to waste as much paint trying to achieve. Put it
All right.
beside it and introduce them, and then add some white. You want to color something like this?
Okay, so I'll
Yeah,
bring
mix it in. Probably too much yellow there now.
Yeah. There
Go to
we
a new spot. Go to a new spot now, and then add some white. And I'll mix that. Let's see
Oh.
how that comes out.
Too white.
I mean, it doesn't have to be any particular color. It doesn't-
Well,
you
I'm
don't have to
trying to get
match
there.
anything.
You inspired me to get it light, so
Let's see. That looks pretty good.
we're getting there.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right.
You know they come in all different colors, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I've learned from you.
That looks
so-
good. And then if your paint starts to drag, you just add a little bit of water.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just filling this in, and I still, I'm taking some of that darker.
No, thank you
again.
for your help.
Yeah, that's good. And as you come down, like the bottom area of the box where it meets the shadow, you can make it. You can use that other color again. The
Oh,
darker.
okay.
Just blend them. Just mix them. I'm going to throw some of that little darker back in here behind him. Just play around with it wherever your eye feels like, okay, that should be darker.
Well, you know I got a bolder, heavier hand.
You do.
so
I like it though.
Thank you.
I like your style.
Thank you very much.
I refer to you often in my classes. I'm like,
No.
Alan, the co-host, he has his His own style he didn't know he had. There was a lady in the one, the Bethel Library class that we just did.
Yeah.
And I was walking around and I said, just do your own thing and your own style and colors. And they were. And the one lady, I said, yours is very modernist. Her trees were very simple and were more geometric shape. I said, do you like modern art? She's like, I really do.
Wow.
So here, she didn't even ever paint, but she was painting like that. So that was like her style.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Great stories there.
Thanks. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, so
I'm going to throw this little browner color with low eighths further.
Yeah, do whatever. And then see where else like you want to blend the shadows. You can throw anywhere you feel you want that transition.
Yeah.
The color. And then I'm going to throw some in here too. Throw it in. We're just throwing
Throw
it
it in there.
See, you have your, I like your technical terms here. But see, I like that you're getting like freer with your painting. You don't have to think about it as much. I think it comes out better.
No, you told me that.
It should be like playing. You're just having fun, and that's what it should be.
Yeah.
And
No,
then,
you've told me I'd get like that, and I didn't believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you now.
Yeah, because your eye starts picking up ways to do things, and that looks good.
Oh, thank you.
And then like the pupils, we'll have to fix them a little too, because once you do. Okay.
I'll make them a little more round.
Yeah, okay. It looks good? All right, so we're going to let this dry a little bit.
Okay.
And let's just block in this background, this down here, and then we'll tweak, then we'll just focus on the cat. Okay?
All right, I got to get my 1/2 inch ready.
Yeah, so what I did here, because we used blue up in the top,
Yeah.
I want to repeat that same color somewhere else again, so it keeps it a little, unifies the color.
Okay.
So I made a gray with black and white, but I put blue in it too.
Okay.
Because,
What do
again, so we'll
what do I start with?
well, I'm just going to kind of mix it somewhat on the canvas again, but let's start with blue.
Blue? All right.
And then we'll put some on the plate, and let's do just a tiny bit of black. So it just darkens the blue a little bit, and we might need to tweak it. Yeah, I don't like that. I feel like it needs. Put some white, black, blue, white.
All right.
As it comes in, because this blue is more transparent, so we're laying that color in here, and we can always just brush some blue back on top of it.
Look what the white it got me.
That's
grayed
good.
up.
That's good. Just
Yeah.
that looks good. So just do the gray. I take back what I said. Do the gray. It's because you don't know. I never painted this before. It just, that's what art is. You're just creating. You're figuring out kind of as you're going. Like, just let it happen.
Well, I like flying by the seat of my pants, so you're feeding right into that. Thank you, Maria.
So we're just doing all the gray. So block in all the gray. Let's just do that. You can use all the same tone.
Okay.
And block it in. Now, when you come to the areas where it's touching the shadow.
Yeah.
Right here, just kind of skim over a little bit. Let that blend
Just
a little
go
bit.
a little bit over the black.
A little bit. So we're just going to fill this in. Okay. And then definitely on this side, though, we will be making it lighter because our light source is here. So that's where you'll add.
Right is light.
Yeah. So what are we going to add, Alan?
White.
Okay. And then you don't always add white to make something lighter. If you had a lighter color, say a red, and you wanted it lighter,
Yellow.
if you add yellow or
See, you taught me.
I know, because white is okay, but then it makes it pinky.
Yeah.
If you don't want it pink. So you could see I'm just adding. Okay, so now you can see our light source is there. Then we will, and it's all about just do things in layer, let it dry, go back to the other area. When I do murals, that's what I had to learn how to figure out so that I'm not in someone's house for 3 months.
Right.
You just do it in stages and just kind of jump around, let it dry. Okay. So let's see. So I'm going to let that dry. How are you doing over there?
I'm good.
Let's see.
Just reload it a little bit.
Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Oh, your other, the line. It may not have been drawn, but this one, where is it at?
Where'd I miss?
It's this way. That's all also blocked. That's the other.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
block it in. That's fine. And it would be lighter, so you can add
I'm
it.
going to add white.
You can do that now, or you can let it dry and then add it. So I'm just letting it dry, and then I'll add some blue and some highlights, like over top, because I want that little bit of a texture look. So I'm going to clean the brush, and now, can I go with the cat?
Yeah, go to the cat.
I'm using the small filbert, little curved top, because we have some curvy areas here, and that just makes it easier. Let's see. So I am going to, now I don't have that, kind of like a golden, they have like maybe kind of golden, kind of
there is
rusty,
some golder colors, yes.
So I'm going to mix up a color like that. And it can be, it doesn't have to be true to a cat color. It can be more fun. I mean, you could put blue in there, you could put red, you do whatever, right? It's a painting, but I am mixing up more of a gold, kind of a gold tone. And
I'm honored. It's her painting.
I know.
You made my day.
I was like,
27th painting.
I wanted to do a cat in a box at some point, and I said, well, since we don't have a guest, I just wanted to just focus on something maybe that you would be interested in. I'm like, I know you like sports and all this stuff, but I like...
Well, I like other things,
yeah,
too.
you do. So I figured, well, I'll do your cat.
You could have even made an alien. I would have been fine.
Oh, an alien. That's funny you said that. I just shared a video this morning of a cat dressed up in a suit next to an alien on one of those Roomba.
No,
am I allowed to say that?
did you?
Am I allowed to say the name of a product? As a sweeper. And he's like riding around, and there's all these flashing lights. I think he was dressed like a little Irish cat or something.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
funny. You'll have to see it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. All right, so you can see now I'm coming. These are his legs are here. You're just seeing like parts of it. So the stripes would go kind of, the bands are this way,
like
right?
vertical.
So that's
or
why.
horizontal.
Yeah, so that's why they're this way. And now I'm going to grab, let's see. Just mix up some different colors that you want.
Oh, I'll go
in the
rainbow on
cat.
you on that.
Yeah, do whatever. Have fun with it. Just mix up some other colors.
No, the calicos have so many different colors.
I know, so cool.
Then when the sun hits it, it's even lit
really?
up some more.
Aw.
Yeah. Very interesting cat.
So I wonder, I know, I mean, when cats or dogs or any animals, obviously, if they're the different generations and they're when they're breeding, I still don't understand like why or how mostly you said the females are the calicos.
Well, no, there's
males.
very few males.
Yeah, it's
so
the
they're
female,
very
yeah.
expensive if you get
Right,
one.
because it's mostly females, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So there's my little kitty. Now I'll clean. So I just mixed up. You can see they're all blending together, and I can tweak and pick out some of those parts with again
Well,
that our
I
last.
lightened my gray up
Yeah,
here.
that looks good.
So
now block in more areas. Again, working around to kind of keep if you want that.
yeah, that look.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll go in with the white. I'll fill in the face, like the little cheeks. And this is where I'm going to focus on cleaning up those black lines if they're too heavy.
Yeah.
And I want some of those. Under the eyes, I'm still using this little filbert, but I will be switching to a smaller round. So I'm just picking out maybe above the eye some white, underneath the eye, the little fur in the ears. Again, I'm starting on the inner and coming out and letting the little tail of the bristle kind of. And then we'll go this way. And then I'm just blocking this in, and then I'm going to grab that smaller brush. You could see I'm up here, pulling it down. And then there's also that shadow. Make sure you have that shadow under the, which you do, see right here?
Yeah.
Under the kitty's face.
Oh, okay.
And then.
And what do I use, the white there?
Well, you have some black, and then I'll do another area with its gray, because that's what brings
stay with the gray there.
Yeah, gray, because what it does is it brings the white part of the face forward, because dark colors recede and light colors go forward.
Yeah.
And this is where, again, I just feel like, okay, maybe this picture looks a certain way. On mine, I feel like I need this here. I need certain color here. So just do what the art needs, not necessarily the inspiration picture. You know, you have to see what your piece needs. So I'm just tweaking these areas, and then I'm going to work on the eyes. So again, it's all about laying these areas in, and then I'll let it dry. I'll come back. So it's just a series of certain areas. You look at it, you add your little colors, you add your tweaks, then you let it dry, then you come back again. It's just layers, layers, layers. You can work on this, you know, a month from now, you decide, oh, I want to put some more detail in that. You can do that too. I usually don't have time to go back into things, but. So cat's eyes, sometimes they're more green, right? Sometimes they're more golden. But I'm going to do like the brighter.
I did the green on it. Just
So now what you can also do, so I have the green, I have to obviously fix the pupil.
Yeah.
So I have that green. Now I'm taking, if you take the darker green and put it in the upper portion on both sides, maybe even mix a tiny bit of black with it, because it's under the lid a little bit, right there, up against the the upper part of the eye, and then the bottom, like right here, underneath.
Yeah.
That's where we'll put yellow in the green, make it brighter, and we will put our little highlights, but we also want a really bright color right down in that bottom area, because it would have more light hitting it.
Oh, okay, very
so
unique.
You can see here. So this is, I'll show you, let's see, I'll do, so we have, let me grab. So if this is our iris right here.
Yeah.
And then we mix a darker green, and it just goes up in here.
Okay.
And then we have the brighter.
Yeah, the yellow.
Underneath. And what that does is it helps create that illusion of more depth.
Oh, wow.
So
we got serious on this.
Yeah, and then as it dries, we'll tweak again. It's just, again, going back over and over, and I feel like I need a little bit more green, and then the yellow. Or you can do blue eyes, you could do whatever. And then you could see how it just makes them glow a little bit.
Yeah.
So a little bit brighter at the bottom, and now the pupils, obviously. Sometimes, I guess, when you look at a cat right there, pupils, how much light's in there.
Yeah.
The pupils are thin, they're wider, they're round, whatever. You do it any way you want.
Yeah, I'll be a little bold, but I'll round it up a little.
Yeah, I feel like mine are going to be bigger. And then this upper part again, I just want to fix that, put a little bit, oh, cute. And then when I have this brush, you can add a little bit, maybe some little dots if you want, like little, where the whiskers come out. We have to do the whiskers too, okay?
Well, I sort of put some brown and stuff in there
yeah,
already.
that looks great.
Yeah, just
So now, if you can see right here, and I'll tweak this a little bit, but you could see the eyes, like the left one looks a little sad because of the way I did that. I know when it's sad. No, you could see the eyes without the reflection, right?
Yeah.
Are your pupils the way you want them?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see right here. Okay, it looks a certain way. Now clean your brush. Get that really nice, clean. Go like this with your finger and get that nice little point. And just dip just the point into the white.
Okay.
Tiny bit. Okay?
Just a bit.
Pick a side, whether it's left or right. Put a little dot on the one side of the pupil, but make sure you do both the same side.
I'm going to go
both
right.
left, both right. Okay. Let's go right. Let's do right here. You can see right there and right there. Now look how it doesn't bring those little eyes to life.
Wow.
Little dot. If you make the eye, if you do the highlight too big, it looks kind of googly-eyed.
Oh, mine didn't dry yet. I left a little.
Can you see?
there.
I don't see it.
No, I couldn't because there's too much paint there.
Just let it dry a little bit. You could also use the back of a brush.
No, I've done that before.
But just test it to see how big it will.
Let me.
You just don't want it too big. It's going to look funny. Oh, that's too big.
Too big.
I would say use the brush.
Yeah, I'll wait till it dries with the.
Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to. We'll just finish up.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and reveal our finished little eight.
All right, little eight.
Okay. Okay, so we are back, but I just want to show you a couple little highlights I did just with the white on top of all these darker colors.
I got to do that.
You see, I'm just using the tip, and do you see how it's picking up? That light color comes forward, so I'm putting the white right here in that brightest part, maybe on the little cheeks and our whiskers. Alan, we need whiskers, so what we're going to do for the whiskers is I'm taking this little brush. I'm going to make that point as small as possible, and I'm taking the white, put it on your plate, thin it a little bit, put a little bit of water so it's really, really thin, but not too watery. Roll the brush like this, go like this, to get that little point.
I'm rolling it.
Come inside the cheek, press down and pull it out. And some of them are going to they're going to blend in with the fur. That one's probably too thick, but hey, it's a cat.
Yeah,
it's
mine
the
are
artwork. Okay, that's okay. All right, so that's all.
I tried.
Yeah, I just came in and just did some little highlights. White is usually the last.
Oh, thank you for that tip.
Yeah.
I got to put it up on her face here a little bit.
Yeah, and that's all. And just you can pick out a couple maybe little spots where highlight. And then I added a little highlight down here. I added some blue over there. I might play around with it again later, but it's enough to show, What do you think?
Yeah.
Good. You can even put yellow on the box. Just kind of play around with it. Okay? You like?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So are we going to? Can we reveal? No?
Yeah, we can reveal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. All right. This is little 8, right?
Yeah.
Yay. Aw.
My cat,
Look at the little
8,
face.
17 years and 3/4.
Wow.
She's hanging in there.
She's happy home, huh?
Yeah, 6.5 pounds.
Aw. Okay.
Where do I show it to her?
Yeah, I know. Yes, I want to. You have to
Thank
get a
you.
picture. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Alan. We're going to show the other next.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So next episode is
Number 28.
So now I'm going to tell you who is coming, if there's going to be a guest.
Yes.
Her name is Desiree. She has a company. It's called Local Good, and they focus on local artists and some others nationally too.
Nice.
And the importance and what we focus on there is inspiring other people, inspiring other creative people.
That is great.
Promoting other people, helping them, connecting, just a nice collaboration of creative people.
I'm glad we can have her as a guest.
So this is what we're going to do for that. Okay?
Excellent.
All
Look
right.
at that. Very festive.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you, guys. And hope to see you next month, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks.